Have you ever needed to accomplish something major, but you run out of steam? Or have you really wanted to do something, however, you lose the motivation before you can even get started? This is a common occurrence and it happens over and over again to a lot of people. You know, you lose steam before you can really get off into it, or right in the middle of a major project, you just are not motivated. Or sometimes you lose the motivation before you can even get started with something that you really wanted to do. Well, if this is you, I'm going to be talking about what you need, because sometimes you need a little more than just motivation. Sometimes you actually need mega motivation. With some things, you know, motivation won't work. It won't, it's not enough. But mega motivation will not only get you there, but it will keep you there. My name is Elsie Ware, and I'm glad that you've joined me for this segment, this webinar on mega motivation. That's right, how to get mega motivated now. It doesn't have to take a long time to get mega motivated. You can do this like now, and I'm going to teach you how to do it. Now, imagine and walk with me, if you will. Imagine getting up in the morning, getting your coffee or your tea or whatever you drink, your orange juice in the morning, and preparing to go to work. Imagine being able to um, have a job. Imagine being able to go to work. Imagine being able to make money. Everything is just right. You put your clothes on and you're ready to go, and you leave the house. You're driving, you're on your way to your job. Remember, you're getting paid. And you get to the job, you do the work, and you leave work, and you go home, you relax a little bit, have dinner, maybe watch a little TV, and then you go to bed. Then the next morning, you start all over again. Have this happen to you? You know, perhaps when you first got the job, then that is what allowed you to feel motivated. You remember that? You applied for the job, you went through the interview process, and you got the job. But somehow, and you don't know how, you lost steam. You got into the humdrum of going to work. Somehow, you're not motivated anymore. Perhaps this is you right now that I'm talking to. You're not motivated anymore. What happened? Well, one of the things we can avoid is routine. Routine will eat up motivation. Okay? When you get into a cycle, you're going over and over again through the same motions, and you lose steam. You get out of sync. What can you do about it? Well, this is one of those situations that motivation is not enough because it was temporary, wasn't it? It's something that just was not there. It was temporary. And so it faded out over time. This is the problem with simple motivation. If you're not careful, it will fade out over time. Now, I've categorized into two categories, actually, motivation. I placed it into two categories. Those categories are internal motivation and external motivation. Now, internal motivation is when you are motivated from the internal sources, your thought processes, your heart, that thing that's coming from inside that drives you. You see, you can be in routine, out of routine, it doesn't faze you. Routine does not eat up internal motivation. You see, and that is where we try to get to, is internal motivation, because that's where we find actually mega motivation. Now, external motivation is a horse of a different color. That's when you have to keep repeating something over and over again to get motivated. You see, and you'll have to find new sources over and over again to get motivated. New sources, that's key. You have to find something new in order to get yourself motivated. But with mega motivation, you are with you all the time. And therefore, you carry mega motivation with you everywhere and at all times. You see, so if you need to make changes in your life, if and you don't know how to sustain the motivation, you need to reach inside and base that motivation on what's happening inside. Very important. Very important. Okay, so we're going to teach you how to do that, how to get mega motivated. Now, it's important that we look at first ineffective motivation. You can be dabbling in ineffective motivation. That which you try to do only lasts for a minute, or that which you think should motivate you doesn't do it at all. What's the answer for this? What is it that you can do? Well, first of all, you need to examine if you're dabbling in ineffective motivation. Now, in NLP, basically, we've identified 4 ineffective, basic, however, major ineffective motivation. And that is categories. And that is 1, the negative motivator. That's where you're moving from something negative. That's where you're moving away from something negative. And that is motivating you to move. Okay, but what happens once you leave it? Once it's no longer an item in your life, once it's no longer something to be considered in your life, you lose motivation. You see? And then the second one is the dictator. This is where I must, I will, it will happen. However, a lot of motivation speakers use this process and teach this process. You've got to do it. You will do it. You see? But have you ever done this and said this and meant it, and you just ran out of steam? It just only went so far. It went to motivate you so far. And then that was it. You lost your drive to continue in that self-help program and trying to get and better your life. It seemed like that would continue to do it, right? That you have an opportunity to better your life. But the kind of motivation that you need is not there. Problematic. The third one is imagining you're doing it. You see? Now, often this is imagining an unpleasant task, something that's not pleasant. And so we want to move away from something that's not pleasant and we move into something that's not pleasant. You see? So when we're imagining it, then that thing that's not pleasant for us is a ineffective motivator. It's not effective. It's not, it doesn't take you anywhere when you're imagining an unpleasant task and you use that to move away from it. Doesn't last very long. And then there is the overwhelm, where you are overwhelmed by something, and that overwhelm, that thing, that item, whatever it is, you find that it's too big. And so you may not be motivated in the first place because it's too big. Okay. So with these 4 items, you're banking on the wrong thing. You're coming up against a wall in each category. That's why they're called ineffective motivators. Now, in the overwhelm, for instance, it needs to be chunked down. You need to chunk it down. You don't pursue something that is overwhelming you, that appears to be overwhelming you, and you don't do anything about it because you'll end up not doing anything about it. You see, so the overwhelm needs to be chunked down. There's an old verbiage that says, how do you eat an elephant? And you know the answer to that. One bite at a time. You see, that goes way back. So I'm telling something about my age. However, it's true. It's true. When it's set before you that you've got to eat the elephant, you can't chunk them down and or put it down in one sitting. You've got to chunk it down. And so when you're faced with something that's overwhelming you, you've got to chunk it down. Cut it up into bite-sized pieces, things that you can do every day. You see, and make sure you're doing something new every day. Okay, but how long would that motivate you? You see, the problem is we're still talking about external sources. And even when we talk about the imagining, doing it, your imagination is focused on something external, not internal. Your imagination is focusing on something outside of you, not inside of you. Okay, so let's go back to that job. Routine, and it's eating you up. Okay, now how do you focus on something that is new every day? Well, you begin by reviewing the day that has already happened. And you have to look at the steps you've taken, the things you've done during that day. You have to look at it. You have to consider what happened. Otherwise, you're doomed to repeat it the next day. You don't want to repeat something. You want to interject something new every day. Remember, we're talking about mega motivation. Mega motivation is sustaining. It keeps going. It's sustaining. It'll keep you going. It'll keep you moving. It won't fizzle out on you. And this is how you know, wow, I'm mega motivated. I'm ready to go. Hey, I'm going. I'm gone. Mega motivation will kick the excitement in. And that makes a big difference. Is when that excitement gets behind your motivation. It's like firing off and keying off the best that you have. Your entire being is getting behind what you have to do. So when you look at the day that has already happened, you see, and I suggest that every day you spend a little time, you settle down, and you go over, you review the day that has already taken place. You see, and that's hard for a lot of people, is they're used to not even considering what happened today unless something out of the ordinary happened. Ah, unless something out of the ordinary happened, then they remember it. That's how it works with mega motivation. You have to interject something out of the ordinary. And you try to do this every day. Now, you might not make it every day, but you try to get it done every day. Every other day, it's fine if that's the best you can do. Every 5 days, if that's the best you can do, whatever the best is that you can do, okay, to interject something new in your routine, and that coming from within you, that will turn on the emotion of excitement and motivate you. Mega motivation will be happening in you where your thrive and your drive is in getting things done. So if you ever needed to accomplish something major, but you run out of steam, turn on mega motivation. Now let's look at this for a moment. I want to rehearse something with you. Now, mega motivation, there are two kinds of motivation. There is moving away from and moving toward. You see, and most people are always doing one or the other, at least one or the other. That is moving away from something, and that's what's motivating you. Usually it's a negative thing, is not something or someplace you want to be, and it's not driving you away. You are voluntarily moving away from it, and you're motivated. I mean, the gears are running, things are happening right behind you, and you are sprinting away from this thing, whatever it is. I'm sure you've run into situations in your life where you've had to put on the tennis shoes and the mental drive to get you away from a situation, a negative thing that's happening to you. And then there are those that are moving toward. Now, the person that is moving away from tend to not think too much about um, things that are coming. And so to prepare for that, okay, and to consider that there may be another wall in front of them that they need to hurdle over or bust through. But if you spend all your time moving away from something, you don't really consider that too much. What you do is you try to get away, but what's in front of you. It's kind of like um, your mind being very, very quick. And it is very, very fast. Your mind is faster than what you give it credit for. Okay. And so when your mind is behind you leaving something, it really doesn't take long to leave it. If you, after 5 years of moving away from something and you're trying to be motivated to do it and you're having to find and renew this motivation spirit inside of you, and after 5 years you haven't done it, then you need to check why, what's happening, because have you maintained that level of motivation that you need to move away from it? Maybe it's the way you are. Maybe there's something new that or something in your life, and you want something new in your life. You want to make a change, but you lose steam because you're not considering everything that's in front. So if you're moving away from something, but you're not considering what's in front of you, then there's no place for you to go. And wherever you go, you'll be away from it. You won't find yourself anywhere. So there's a word for that. It's called lost. You will just be lost. Okay? Now, a person is moving towards something is the planner. They are the ones who plan out where they're going. They're the ones who may be more successful because of the plan. They're thinking about where they want to go. They are thinking about what they want to do. And they are involved with this process, and they've gotten in touch with mega motivation reaching on the inside. They're not motivated by some occurrence on the outside, but reaching on the inside to use that as the drive and not what they imagine as the drive, but it becomes real because it's happening from the inside. They spend time every day considering what happens and what has happened actually through that day. They spend that time, they consider it, and then they look to interject something new that is the next step in the plan the next day. So they're looking out for things that may happen. They're considering things that could throw them off base. And here's my word now, demotivate them. That could be happening to you where you were motivated and something has demotivated you. Now, that's my word. You won't really find that in the dictionary to be demotivated. Why did I come up with that word? Well, I came up with that word because sometimes people are on fire. You may be on fire, or you may have had the experience of really launching forth with a lot of steam. I mean, your locomotive is turning, your wheels are moving you, and you are in full gear. You're gone. And suddenly there's something on the tracks. And what happens? You lose steam because you have to stop. Something has caused you to have to stop. So you lose the motivation because it appears that something is in the way. So now, with this thing in the way, you're not moving with the same rate of speed that you had before. You're not moving with the same drive that you had before because your train is slowing down. You have been demotivated. You are now demotivated. So demotivation happens when a person was motivated, but something has jumped in the way and they're now demotivated. Okay, so a person that's moving toward something can run the risk of being demotivated. The person that's moving away from something doesn't run the risk of being motivated in the first place. You see, in many cases, I should say, there are always exceptions to the rule. But more than likely, if you are watching this right now, it's not an exception to the rule. You need to be mega motivated. So you sit down, you calm down, and I want you to go through this exercise with me right now. It's an exercise to help you get in touch with inside and put things in the right perspective and perhaps get you mega motivated about a routine or about something else, something new, or something that you've begun, and you get into mega motivation. Okay, we're going to do an exercise right now. So I want you to sit up and I want you to relax now. Relax, you know, stretch your fingers, stretch your arms, get yourself ready. Relax. That's it. Just flow easy. Think easy. Okay, get everything out of your mind, out of your head. Okay, and just think easy. Tell your horses to whoa. Take it easy now. Close your eyes. Oh, go ahead. It's okay. You're safe. Close your eyes and think easy. Okay? Think easy. And think about something that you want to do. It doesn't matter what it is, something that you really want to do. Take it easy. Remember, the idea here is to get in contact with some way that you want to be. And something to motivate you, hurl you into mega motivation. So relax. And I should interject here, this is something you should try to do every day. Relax. Okay? Now, I want you to picture in your mind something that's unpleasant, something you want to change, something where you've run out of steam. You don't have the drive anymore, but you know you want to do this. Maybe you've become demotivated about arriving to work on time. Imagine walking into the office and looking at the clock and you're 10 minutes late. You see, that may be something you don't want to face. That may be something you don't want to think about. But this is the problem with many people that don't have steps to becoming mega motivated is they don't want to face what's wrong in the first place. But in this exercise, I want you to think about it. Okay, so I'm just using this as an example. I want you to have in your mind whatever it is. Okay, but I'm going to talk through an example using a specific thing, and I want you to pattern after it. So you're walking in the office, you notice with the clock on the wall which is there for everyone to see, that means you're to consider it. And you see that you're late. Why were you late? You had the same amount of time as those who were on time, but you're constantly late. Do you like it? No. You want to change it? Yes. How hard is it? Very. And you don't know what's happening. You don't know how to change it. You've fallen into a rut. So in the mornings, you're not motivated anymore. You want to change this. You want to get out of the rut. So I want you to now see yourself, step out of the picture and see yourself. Don't be yourself. Seeing through your eyes, I want you to look at it as if it was a movie. Look at it just like it was a movie and starring you and that clock. See the clock as being late. It's showing you as being late. 10 minutes, 15 minutes. See the clock. You see it? That's important. I want you to see that you're late. And I want you to face the fact that you are late. Okay? Now I want you to put a pin in that. Let that movie run. Now think about where you are. You are outside of the movie, looking in, seeing yourself and that clock on the wall. Now I want you to picture yourself as being on time. Remember, we're looking at mega motivation. See yourself, your desire, what's happening inside, and things should begin to churn now. I want you to look at a clock and see yourself coming through the door 10 minutes early. Looking at the clock and you're early. Now, which one would you desire? The one where the movie is running, you're late, or the one where you are and you're early? And this is the way you want to be. So now I want you to grab the clock that's showing you as being early. I want you to grab that clock and step back into the picture. Take the clock off the wall that's showing you late, throw it in the garbage pail, and now take the clock that shows you early and put it on the wall. So now you're looking, you're in the movie again. You're not outside of it. You're in the movie and you're looking at the clock on the wall and you are 10 minutes early. You're not late anymore. You're on time. 10 minutes early. Now we're looking for mega motivation. And you can use this exercise with anything. Keep your eyes closed. We're not finished. You can use this exercise for anything. You can replace it with anything, but keep the elements the same. Okay? So now, early. Whenever you look at that wall, you are early. If it's your watch, you are early. If you're leaving the house in the morning, you are early. And so you line up everything so that you walk out of the door not on time, you walk out early. And you arrive to work early. And because you've done this, you don't even realize that you were mega motivated. Now you can create a new habit. Now you can create a better habit. Now you can create a good habit. Now you can make changes because you are mega motivated. So guess what? The next day, it's not humdrum. The next day, you're excited. You're excited. Okay, open your eyes. Imagine now what I just said. When you look at the wall and the clock is on it, when you look at your watch and the hands are showing, and both are showing that you are early, the watch and the clock, whatever clock you would use, is showing you are early, not on time, or not off time, but on time. Okay, now what's that going to do for you? We've probably gotten rid of a bad habit right there because you're mega motivated about being early. You've gotten in touch with something that's inside. So by accident, we may have just solved your late problem. You see? And whenever you think about yourself and the clock, I want you to think about being early. Being early. Okay? Now, this really helps when you are perhaps uh, in a rut and you need to get out of the rut. I have um, these two quotes from myself that I believe is true, and that is when you're down in a rut, when you're down a ditch, and you need to get out, and it comes down to you. If it's down to you, get a shovel because you're looking at everything in a negative way. Okay, you're considering too much the circumstance of being in that hole and you need to get out. You're considering too much. So now, when it's up to you, get a ladder. Okay, get a ladder and get out of the ditch. All right. Now, I may have to come back with more. Um, the rest of it, there's more to this, but I've given you quite a bit to be able to uh, do for yourself uh, and get yourself mega motivated. Remember, don't settle for just motivation because it's temporary. It's temporary. That's why you always run out of steam when you try to get started on something major or anything and you're trying to get something done. That's what happens. So, what I want you to do is to be able to take this now, apply it. This is how you can do it now. You can become mega motivated now. Use the process that I just showed you now. Use it today. Now. Okay? You can find mega motivation right now. The process works. Okay? Now I want you to uh, go on and if there are any questions, go ahead and put those questions in. If you're looking at a replay of this, you may not be able to put a question in, but I will answer any questions that I come to. Now, what I also would like to tell you is that at my website, I have an all access course there, or courses there. Mega Motivation is coming on board with other courses I have there. Now I'm just starting this. It's new and it is real. All access means that you will have access to that area. There will be 2+ videos there every single day. I'm sorry, not every day, every month is what I meant to say. There will be at least 2 new courses there every month, but you should get in on it now because the price is going to go up. Very valuable information about life redirection and personal change. Boy, and do some people really need that? If you're trying to redirect your life or you need to make personal changes, that's the place to be, because I will be dealing with subjects that really affect you at the root level, and we can work with that. Okay, so these courses are there, they're coming on board. Go to edgelessliving.net and you'll find these courses there. And so become a part of that. It's going to go up. So do it now. All right. Okay, we have a question here that just came in. Let's see, I've got to put the old peepers on so that I can see it. I really look forward to the diet I'm currently on. It's been 2 weeks, but I'm already fighting to stay in it. External motivation. Common, right? Going on. Is it possible my motivation was external? Yes, I just said that. There are benefits I want, but it's not appealing to me anymore. Okay, that's because you have not connected it inside of you. It's not something that's been connected inside. It's not something that happened inside. Okay? You need to connect and see yourself. You need to use the process. If you're going to diet, you consider yourself to be overweight. Overweight. You are considering yourself overweight. So this is why you are dieting. Okay, or there may be other health reasons why you are dieting, but you're fizzling out. All right, so use the process I just taught you. See yourself as you are and step out of the picture and see you in the movie. But see a new you, develop a new you, one that's possible, develop that, and then replace that. That's in the movie. Step back in the movie, and now you replace the new you. You'll find yourself mega motivated. Okay? The second question is, and we've run a little long here, so I'm going to answer this question, and then that'll be it for now. I can't imagine my life without the glass being half full. Okay? I'm optimistic and usually quite motivated. However, I find I become demotivated around certain personalities. And then to regenerate or re-energize my motivation, I have to take time away from toxic people. Is this the right way to see it? Pretty much. And you don't want to hang around people who are demotivators. You don't want to hang around situations that are demotivating. You want to get away from them. And you may need to utilize the process that I taught you here a few moments ago, because it's very important that you establish a plate between you and the negative environment. Spend that time every day that I was talking about, okay, so that you can develop a protection around you if you must be involved with these demotivating circumstances and demotivating people. Okay, so utilize the relaxation exercise I gave you, utilize the circumstance replacement I just gave you, utilize the new behavior generator, a version of it that I just gave you, okay? And you'll find yourself protected, all right? Okay, we've been pretty long here, and I'm going to get ready to leave. Well, let me answer this question. My schedule is all over the place, and I'm often tired. Does this affect my motivation? Absolutely. If you're tired, then and it does affect your motivation. You're finding yourself not motivated. Then you need to be motivated about getting the proper rest. That's what ties into what you have to do. So you have to focus on the right thing, getting motivated about getting the proper rest, adjusting your schedule. If your schedule is all over the place, take the things that you do have control of, okay? You do have control of some things. Utilize those things, organize them, and plan time in there for you to rest and get the proper rest. Let that be set as your motivating factor. Good rest. So you're not going to look for motivation in the things of your schedule, in the things that you have to do. That's not where you look for it. So be careful. Don't focus on the wrong thing to be motivated in. Be very careful. Think about where your focus should be in regards to motivation. Okay? So now your focus to be motivated should be on getting the proper rest, because being tired is a result of not getting the proper rest, and that wears on you, and it could affect your level of motivation. So become mega motivated and get the rest and the relaxation that you need as much as you can, okay? And then utilize the energy and the excitement that comes with it, that's going to naturally affect everything that you do, and you won't be doing it in a tired way. Okay? All right. Thanks for hanging with me. My name is Elzy Ware. I am a life coach. I am a master NLP practitioner. I am a certified hypnosis practitioner and a certified holistic health practitioner. Thank you for joining me. We'll see you in the next video, okay? And I hope that this has helped you in regards to getting really motivated. So now let's get going. Let's make it happen. And you can do it now. All right? Take care.